I might have to do it over again. Hey, what's going on, TikTok? How you doing? We're trying to get Instagram in on this as well.
Yeah,
So
so you should be able to hit live on Instagram now, and
I did, but it for some reason unless the numbers are still the same. Um
it didn't work.
no, maybe it did. Let me hit go live. Maybe I am live. I don't know.
I guess we could go on Instagram and look.
I can go on a different Instagram and look. Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting ourselves up and running here, everybody. So
Hi everyone. Hey,
hang with us.
TikTok. It's been a while since I've gone live here on TikTok. Uh, TikTok's been a strange place. The algorithm is weird over there. Yeah, I think I'm live. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't think you are.
I don't think so either.
I'm on
Okay.
your Instagram right now, and it doesn't look like you're live.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second over there on the TikTok. Uh,
Hi, guys. Let us know where you're from. We're going to talk about a non-homophobic Bible and how we're going to take that message on the road to the deep, deep South
yes, we are.
into DeSantis land and beyond.
Thank you for keeping up with the live over there.
Yeah.
Edit. Yeah, it said I was live, but I'm gonna just put in new credentials here,
Okay.
and that I think will work better. And if it doesn't work, then we'll just use your live, and that's fine. And I'll get fancy next time.
Yeah, we're learning. We're learning all this technology.
Huh, it won't let me insert the Instagram key. That's so weird.
It won't, huh?
But I'm gonna go live and see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not working over here. Weird.
It says you are live on there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it says I'm live, but it doesn't start on the Instagram, so I don't know if I
Okay.
am or
I
not.
wonder if we remove this.
Hey everybody, what's going on? That's okay. We can just,
All right, we'll just go where we are. All right, cool.
You're live on Instagram, right?
I'm live on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, this is my first time trying to go live on what is it, StreamYard, and connecting the things. I did watch a YouTube tutorial on how to do it.
I'm gonna have to I gotta get me some 1946 swag for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We've got shirts, we've got mugs, and this is a pint glass with water.
Just water this time.
Pint glass without water. It is Sunday.
So we are going on a tour. We're just starting to release this announcement, and we're gonna take the movie on the road. We're gonna do some education. We're gonna do some voter education.
Yeah.
You want to tell people about it, Rocky?
Yeah. So we're gonna do a 14 stop, but it's a 32-day tour across the United States, mostly in cities that have been highly impacted by extremist ideologies that are pushing out laws against not only the LGBTQ community, but against women's rights, reproductive rights, and the like. And so we're going to go on the road and share the movie. It's 14 free conferences. And then we're also going to talk about how the Bible has been politicized and weaponized, not only again against our community, but in other ways, and show you how, and then give you permission to rethink different things and call it out for what it is. What else are we going to be doing on the road, Paul?
And we're going to be talking about Christian nationalism and how these, the battle against reproductive rights, the homophobia of a particular ideology and religious sect are putting people in danger and being used. Literal human beings are being used as chips in this political game, and a religious church of American evangelicalism has bought into this demonization of human beings for a battle for political power. And much of what I talk about is how that is the direct opposite of who Jesus Christ was and what we read about his teachings and his life in the Gospels. And so this is not a good thing. These are evil people weaponizing Christianity for political power. And we want Christians to consider, does this really look like the Jesus you read about in the Bible?
getting a little bit of a verb feedback there, but
Okay.
really quickly though, somebody asked a question. Is the movie ever going to come out in theaters? And so, just a quick little history about the film. We went to our world premiere in Doc NYC in 2022, and then we won the audience award. We sold more tickets than any other film in the history of the film festival. I'm trying not to show the phone on that camera, but give you guys a better so you can see me. I know Paul is a professional. I'm obviously not. I'm just, the filmmaker over here that can't set up live streams. Anyway, we won the audience award and we sold more tickets than any other film in their whole 13-year history, now 14-year history, and we couldn't get distribution at all. I mean, it was an IFC festival, and the president of IFC was like, "How are you selling these many tickets?" I'm like, "We have an audience ready to see the film." And then we still couldn't get distribution. So it plagues us. We don't understand it. Some people think the film's too Christian. Some think it's too gay. Isn't that interesting? That's kind of what an LGBT goes in through the church. But it's really not. It's more than that. It is a political piece. It's a history piece. It's a cultural piece. It's a familiar piece. It's a relational piece. There's a lot of different elements in there. And whether you're Christian or not, the Bible impacts our world and our reality. We can see how it plays out in Christianity and in American politics. So after that, we did the festival circuit for a year. And then since the film was winning so many different awards, we did decide to do a theatrical release. We self-released in theaters. Now, to do anything like that is so expensive. We had to get a PR team, rent theaters. We had to do applications for various award ceremonies and different things like that to try to qualify to then get more theaters and also streaming opportunities and things like that. So it's a lot of work. And from there, now we just decided to release it on Eventive. So you can watch the film at home. You can watch it online, link in our bio. And we're working on other ways to make the film more accessible so you don't have to keep renting it. So just bear with us. After this tour, there'll be more announcements on various ways that we're making the film available and in multiple languages all over the world. So
Wow. Yeah. And if you haven't seen it, they can go to the website, right? 1946themovie.com and rent it at a really, really reasonable rate. And you've got to see it. It's an incredible thing. And I've told this in the past that when I first started hearing this concept of that the word homosexuality was never in any translation of the Bible until 1946, I was a little bit like, is that really true? Is that really true? And then after watching your documentary and doing a lot of reading, I'm like, wow, it really is true. And it really has, as your subheading tagline is, the mistranslation that shifted culture. And it really has impacted so many people in that way. So yeah, the movie is really important. So here's somebody saying, Tim is saying, "You're trying to please the world, not God. You're literally talking about ticket sales." Wow.
they're free. It's a free show, by the way. Oh yeah, no. I mean, what else do you do when you make a movie? Like, I mean, like you just, who's going to pay for it? You know what I mean? When you're trying to put out information, you just block them, whoever it is.
I
Just
guess
block them.
they're used to Hobby Lobby paying for all of their stuff.
For like, yeah, exactly, like propaganda, basically.
It's funny to me because people are will make statements like that and they miss that in the Bible it says that Jesus had women traveling with him who funded his
Right.
ministry.
Right.
And in fact, we know Jesus had enough money that Judas was able to steal from the money purse and nobody noticed it. So there had to be some money in there. So that's, it's a little bit of Christian self-righteousness. Like I strongly doubt Tim works for free.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But he expects you to as a movie maker.
Exactly. Well, that's not even that. It's just like, who's going to pay for it? We are working for free. You know what I mean? Like, we're not making money as producers on this film. So if you want to see the back end books, Tim, give me a call.
Yeah, anyway. Exactly. So it's so why have Be Proud Forever says, "Pastor Paul, I haven't seen you on my FYP in forever." Oh, good to see you.
What's up, Two-Spirit? How you doing?
Carol and Meg are on YouTube saying hi. And yes, we got a bunch of people coming in.
Love it. Awesome. I got to get better at this setup here. Yeah.
I've figured out how to kind of stack mine so my cameras are close enough that I can almost look like I'm looking at both of them. But
Yeah, no, you got it figured out. That's actually the way to go. I got to clip it to the computer or something.
so, what made you think about taking the movie on the road and putting, as we're going to do here at the end of July, early August, and do some education around the movie as well as showing it? Where did this idea come from?
Well, the film played in Fresno, which is where you're from.
Yeah.
And there was a woman there who is part of working with helping to dismantle these ideas around LGBTQ and Christianity, not only locally in your community, but all around the United States. And
She
after seeing
is
the film,
literally a Christian gay person, that a Christian queer person that many Christians believe is an oxymoron, right? But
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And she does advocacy work for our community and fights against like the Don't Say Gay bill and different things like that. And so she saw the movie and immediately thought of an opportunity for us to provide resources and an extended tool, especially right before the 2024 election, to encourage people to understand the power of their individual voice, but also our collective voice together, and do community building. And again, afford people opportunities to learn about this information. And so we put the budget together, we put the plan together. What's up, cuz? How you doing? And we greenlit it on faith because we're not anywhere close to being fully funded. And as you can imagine, it's a very expensive endeavor. But we feel it's a really important thing to do to get this information out. And we're working with local churches and community leaders in each city to find a venue that'll donate the space for us and help with our budget. And then that's just another way to meet wonderful people. But then the goal is to fill the room. 200 to 500 people is my goal. I want 500 people in each city at least. Let's fill the room and have some fun. And then we'll have a Q&A around the film and really help shift culture back. So yeah, it was Robin that put this idea in my head. And this has pretty much been consuming a lot of my time. As you can imagine, planning something like this, putting together the budget, really logistically thinking of everything, including security, safety, which is very important to us and for the audience as well as the crew, and for making sure that we are being classy. Like, we all might have our opinion on who and why, what we're going to vote for, but that's not really our job. Our job is to provide good information so you can make a sound decision for yourself. And so sometimes it's hard to be classy, but that's what we're going to do. And that's what we did in the film. And we're going to continue down that path where we're just going to provide the best information that we can, let you walk away with it, and let you make the decision for yourself.
Yeah.
We did not get Lexington, Kentucky on this list, but we are playing in Kentucky this weekend. Let me tell him where.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just got the order in to send the movie to Bruce. Do you want to talk maybe a little bit about your talk, some of the things you're going to talk about?
Sure. And by the way, Carol is from Fresno here, and yes, you're right. It was Robin that helped us, and I did want.
He knows Robin.
Yeah, I did want to thank Be Proud Forever. They say you are two of the first creators I ever followed on TikTok. So
wonderful.
That's an honor.
Really quickly though, Capitol Pride, Kentucky will be playing the film on June 23rd at 4 p.m. I don't really have any other information beyond that. I did ask them to get me information I can post. I can't keep up with some of the self-screenings myself, but there you go. Capitol Pride, Kentucky.
Oh, my podcast partner, April LaJoy, lives in Lexington. And
oh, wonderful.
So maybe people can see her out there. I did want to say, I think why this is important. There's a whole bunch of reasons why this is important, but one particular for me is, even as I wrestled with my theology on, homosexuality, same gender attraction and relationships, I knew how Christianity treated queer people in America was wrong. Jesus would not have treated any people this way. And, so what we saw in 2008, the Republicans put Proposition 8 to ban gay marriage in California on the ballot. And the whole point of doing that was to demonize queer people, build fear amongst heterosexual couples that they're going to take marriage away from you, and churches are going to be forced to perform gay weddings and all of these things in order to get Arnold Schwarzenegger elected governor. And so it is truly, when you see the Bible, the command of the Bible over and over again is seek justice for the poor, the foreigner, the outcast, and the widow. You know, that word outcast, that's the people that the good religious people of a community think aren't worthy. It's marginalizing of people. And that's exactly what, so it was happening with gay marriage back in 2008. Conservatives and right-wingers and Christians have realized, oh, we've kind of lost that war on the gay marriage thing, although they'll probably try to bring it back with the Supreme Court. But we lost that war. So now let's turn our attention to like things like pride and, you know, helping queer children in elementary school not to harm themselves by affirming who they are. And let's go after trans people. And this is truly the outcasting of human beings. It is the opposite of what is the never-ending command of the Bible of loving your neighbor as you love yourself. And I think there are good Christian people who think, wow, I don't like how we treat queer people, but the Bible says. And if we can say, no, actually the Bible doesn't say, not only in spirit it doesn't say that, but in literal literature it doesn't say that, it can give permission to some people to change their view of whether to support a candidate that's going to demonize queer people to try to get elected and bring fear in an audience so they can get elected.
That was really good practice. You've done that before.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Paul will give a talk before we show the movie in every city. So, and one other thing we're going to be doing on the road, we are going to be documenting our experience. We're going to be filming as much as we can and try to put together some sort of useful material that can support how this mistranslation, more application of how it's hurting people in our world, and or how much people don't know about it, and or how much people will not even be open to hearing about it, those kinds of things. So we'll do man on the street type interviews and ask people if they've heard about it, and just kind of, you know, just, I don't know, hit interview. What do you call that? When you're like, you know,
man on the street. That's what we call it.
That's what you call it. Yeah.
MOS, hit up the man on the street. Thank you, Holly Nass, for sharing the live and share it out there if you can, everyone. If you have questions, type them in. People can help financially. Is that right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to help. We do have a GoFundMe. I just started an Amazon cart where people can pay for things that'll just help, that will save on our budget, you know, things like tissues in the van. And, you know, so you can buy us a box of tissues and then maybe buy a hard drive. Someone else can buy us a hard drive that we'll need for the video footage that we're going to be collecting on the road. But then beyond that, you know, we're going to be in different cities. If you wanted to provide a meal, or there's, you know, if you have an Airbnb in the city, maybe you can give us a discount. Maybe we help. We'll pay for cleaning, you know, let us have the house for a night or two. That would be amazing. Just different ways like that. And honestly, though, the best way to support us is to share the information and get people to come to the free event. It's a free screening of the movie. It's a free community gathering. It's a 4-hour conference to provide, again, good information. So the best way to support us is share the information and let everybody know. Follow us on social media. So it costs
and it'll be hella fun.
And it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I'm so encouraged by all the people that we're already meeting. Oh, by the way, so you're from Springfield, Missouri, and we have a woman called Stephanie that's helping us there. Now, Stephanie is over the moon. She had heard about the film, and her friends had told her about the film, but she hadn't seen it yet. She was already ready to help. So I gave her a watch link so she could watch the film. And now she's just like, I mean, gushing, which is great. She was really kind in receiving the film. And then now she already was going to help, but she's getting a collective of churches together. But she emailed to this morning. She's like, we're getting you an Airbnb. So I want to know about the bed situation, so they're going to buy us 2 nights in Missouri. That's amazing. That saves us $1,200 of trying to figure out how we're going to pay for those nights on the road. So
yeah, going into Springfield is that's the belly of the beast for me.
yep.
I'm going to have my self-care in place there. And by the way, if I guess I want to just say, if anybody is a part of an organization that supports queer activities, queer activation, let us know. And we know there's somebody out there that can just write big checks to help. And so those are great too.
And we're connected to a 501c3. So if you do know anybody who's able to give a gift in that regard, if you're in the United States, you can receive a tax write-off through our fiscal sponsor, Women Make Movies. So we also have a couple sponsorship opportunities. I'll start to speak a little slower. My brain is faster sometimes than my mouth. But there's some ways that you can promote your brand or your business. We have a van that's going to be traveling around the United States, and we're putting on the van, what if the word homosexual was never in the Bible? And we have one placement opportunity for a promotional ad if you wanted to put your ad on the van, and then we're going to promote it on physical material and verbally and on our social media and in our newsletter. And then we have 2 other opportunities to play a commercial before the screening of the film.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah. You know how you see, like, get your popcorn, get your soda. Well, this will be like, get your, I don't know, get your Jesus on with Beloved Arise. No. I just put Beloved Arise on the spot. No, they're already a sponsor. They're our partners. They're getting now a shout out here, and they'll still get a shout out, but things like that, and that would be amazing to help us, and we'll be able to promote your brand as well.
Yeah. By the way, I saw Inside Out 2 last night in the theater.
Oh, how was it?
Oh, so good. Good. It is such a vivid picture of what emotional health looks like. So here I have a question on TikTok. Good Juju is Happy says, I truly believe this film can make a huge difference. Will you be in the Houston area?
Ooh.
And I think you really have a good answer for Good Juju here.
Yes, we are going to be in Houston. Now, the churches or the buildings or the community centers that we're going to be at, even if we know where they are, we're not publicly announcing them. That's one of our safety mechanisms. So you do have to register for a ticket. But yes, if you go to the link in our bio, you'll see Eventbrite is where you can get your free ticket. You just need to register, and then we'll email the address out to all registered guests. But Houston, since it's such a big area, one thing we're thinking of doing is working with a collective of churches. We had a meeting this week, and we're going to do one church where that's where the live action is, where Paul and I will be. But then they're considering live streaming to other churches throughout the Houston area so we can hit a good radius. So if you can't make it at 6 p.m. on a Thursday night, which is, I think, when we land in Houston, it's a Tuesday or a Thursday. I think it's the 8th, which is a Thursday of August.
If you know that off the top of your head, I am so amazed.
Because I have put the whole thing together. I spent months, and then I redid the schedule and added days. And can we drive that much? And how much is going to kill the crew? Are they going to kill me if I put the crew through this? But yeah, so then the idea is that you can still go and be in community, watching in community, even though we might not be in the same room. You can still ask questions live with us, and there'll still be someone there to help you learn how to vote and register to vote if you're not registered, and meet free mom hugs and mama bears and all that good stuff. So even if it's not us and it's a live stream, please come to the Houston venue.
So good Juju says my church would be supportive. So can she just reach out to you through the website?
1946 the movie info@gmail.com. Send us an email there. It's on the website, our email address, and let us know, and we'll get you on the list and we'll get you connected with who's helping us with all the churches. That would be amazing.
All right. And we should maybe you could go through the list of towns that we're going to hit. Meg on YouTube says, when do you hit the road, and will there be updating as you go?
Yes, good question. We're going to update even prior to before we get on the road. I'm going to try to do some sort of something throughout July where we can get people, hey, Don, excited. And, I just got to figure out what that looks like as we're planning everything else. But yes, we're going to keep people updated before we go. Then on the road, we leave on the 31st from North Hollywood. Our first stop is Temecula. Then we go to Phoenix. Then we go to Oklahoma City. Then we go to Frisco, then Houston, Baton Rouge. Then we go to Pensacola, Sarasota, Birmingham, Alabama, Memphis, Tennessee, Springfield, Colorado, it's Colorado Springs, then Salt Lake City, then Vegas. Did I miss any of them?
I don't think so. I think that was very well done. Very well done.
This is a little bit of a hook here. We got invited in 1946 to play in Little Rock, Arkansas at an LGBTQ film festival that is in between Houston and Baton Rouge. So the day the crew is driving from Houston to Baton Rouge, I'm going to fly from the Houston airport to Little Rock and drop in and do a workshop with students on filmmaking. Then we'll show the film at the fest, and then they're having like a reception. And then I'm going to fly the next morning to Baton Rouge to pick up with the crew on the Baton Rouge tour. Now, the Little Rock, this is amazing that our film won Hot Springs Film Festival, which is a non-queer film festival, which is so important for us to win those festivals because, again, the film it's about queer people and Christian, but it's way more than that. And so to be able to win in a secular space is amazing. And so the curator, the programmer of both those festivals was a huge fan of our film. And so he's like trying to work with the local community to get us back to Arkansas with the road trip. So I told him if he can pull it off, I want him to be able to pay for you to come, Paul. I'm like, we need to have the whole experience. So we need a venue. We need Paul to get a flight. We need at least then 2 hotel rooms, but we want one of our camera people to come with us. So we need minimum 3 people, the hotel rooms or an Airbnb, the car, and all that. So they're working it out. So we might, you and I. So actually what would happen is after Missouri, there's that break while we're driving from Missouri to Colorado. It's a long break, because it's a long drive. So we would drive 3 hours south to Little Rock and then fly from Little Rock to Colorado to meet up with the crew.
Ooh,
so fingers crew, we can get Little Rock in there. And then outside of that, if your city's not on the list, you can go link in bio, share the film with your community and set up a watch party for yourself or watch the film at home. But we encourage you to do community. So read that. Let me know if you have any questions, but you can set up your own watch party, which would be so fun.
Nice. Here's a good question from Anna, who says, why are we still referencing the Bible? Is there a goal to leave it behind with its hostile content? What do you think about that?
Well, unfortunately, the Bible and Christianity aren't going anywhere. Not unfortunately. Listen, there's wonderful things about the Christian faith. There's wonderful things about as much as there's been horrible things and the church history has been horrible. So we know it's not going to get thrown out anytime soon, and people are not going to just walk away from Christianity and the Bible. And so, as I've been struggling with this my whole life, it's like you can't really, with someone who is super dogmatic, it's hard to really even have the words to try to combat and be like, how do you even have a conversation? So I've been trying to have a conversation around this for many, many, many years, and finally starting to really see and look at and being able to afford the opportunity to look at biblical scholarship where we're allowed to look at that. Like theological seminaries are different than Bible colleges, and so I was able to expand my mind and get a greater understanding. And we as Christians are able to pull out texts and say, well, this is cultural and this is historical. But for some reason, we just seem to pull these 6 verses and use them against this community. So I've spent my life researching this to be able to combat verbally, but also academically and journalistically. And so now that I've learned what Kathy and Ed have discovered with this mistranslation and all of this information, I felt it would have been irresponsible of me not to share it with the world. But we needed to share it in a way, as we did in the film, with compassion and empathy, knowing that our loved ones believe this so much that they're willing to vote against our basic human rights. And so I am now finding myself working in Christian spaces all around the world, which is interesting, but
and
also
I think
wonderful.
Anna asked, it's a really vital and brilliant question. I have
His phone keeps
always
dropping.
had a love for what I now call the Hebrew scripture, not the Old Testament, because I think that's kind of a colonizing view of it.
I agree. I call it the Hebrew Bible.
Yeah, and then the Christian New Testament, and after deconstructing my faith view, to be able to see the Bible for what it is, not an inerrant, linear one book written by God, the finger of God, and then try to defend that, which is impossible because it
Right.
contradicts itself all the time. But to see it as an inspired text, as a beautiful text, as a journey to like explain this mystical world around us, I find it to be inspiring and beautiful. So, the Bible endorses slavery. It prescribes slavery. And so even a Christian would say, yeah, that was cultural to the time, and so God didn't command they come out of it. Even with the mistranslation, I can say to Christians, and we are progressing into history and heaven and the love of heaven with us. So, even the fact that there really weren't these gender issues that we have now in the Western culture back then, but even if they did, we're still progressing forward. And just as the Bible, you may say the Bible endorses slavery, but we don't believe that's a good thing to do. Even if you believe the Bible is homophobic, which I don't believe it is, we can progress past that in a cultural sense and say, you know what? Jesus really did love human beings a lot. And so we can love human beings a lot too. So anyway, because there are a lot of queer people who still love the Bible, who still want to hold their Christian faith, and because it's so influential in our culture, we still have to deal with it no matter what.
And there's also people who don't have a choice. And we're talking about young people who are brought to evangelical churches every single day, just like I was raised in that environment. And so we do a lot of this work. I'm sure, Paul, I'm speaking for you now, for the voiceless, for the, not only just for our adult siblings who are coming out of this now, but the kids who are going to these church buildings, and provide tools for their parents, for the community, and their friends.
I heard the stat recently that a queer child is twice as likely to attempt self-harm than their cis straight peers. Now take that queer child and put them in a Christian home, and they are 8 times more likely to attempt self-harm than the queer child in the non-affirming, non-religious home. So
Yeah.
you literally are endangering a young person's life by not understanding how the Bible actually deals with sexual issues, and certainly when it comes to gender and sexuality. And it's unnecessary. It's not a command from God. It is a cultural view
Yeah, all
of
this is
this.
cultural.
Yeah.
I did a live stream with 2 gentlemen who do not hold our point of view, and they were very kind. But some of the line of questioning, I was just like, wow. I mean, I basically, the only thing I could say besides my jaw just being dropped was, isn't that just a testimony of how men have been hurt around this patriarchal issue too? Because I can see in your story how much you've been hurt by just the one example you said your dad had done. And these are all cultural, heteronormative realities. And that was the most diplomatic thing I could say without just literally being like, and then I also, really reminded everybody that June is not only Pride Month, but June is Men's Mental Health Month. And it is really important that we do recognize that these ideas where man must provide and woman follows is not realistic. It's not realistic, and especially in America in 2024. And so men are unable to live up to this reality, and they're killing themselves at an alarming rate, more than we've ever seen. Middle-aged, or not even middle-aged, like 40. I guess it's kind of middle-aged. I'm 46. So Oh my gosh. No.
We're all
But
getting older every day.
but this is a very serious issue and it really impacts all of us. And so we can't ignore the men in the room.
Yeah, and for a straight woman, um, I believe the hatred of queerness and sexual fluidity really is a hatred of femininity, and how men are taught, don't run like a girl, don't throw like a girl, don't cry like one.
Right.
It's manly to stuff your feelings,
Right.
and it's girly to not. And so it really does impact all the spectrum of gender, and comes from just a really perverted view of gender in every possible way, and it harms everyone, not just queer people. And so I think it's time for us to say, what if we just said, I want to affirm you as a human being, not like you have to be a human being as I see a human being should be, or else.
Right.
I think the world would be a lot better place.
Yeah, for sure. We've
Yeah.
got bigger things to worry about. There are far more important things to worry about. But one little battle at a time.
Yep. So we're getting ready. We're going to go through the southern United States. We're going to have this conversation, and wow, it's going to be really fun. So I hope everybody will check out the info. And if you're able to support. If you have a business that can support, or if you know of an organization or philanthropic people who can help, just let them know about it, and let's get this thing on the road.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we accomplished what we came to accomplish.
I think so too. Yeah, we should do it again soon. Maybe like next week. I will be in London on my way to Paris. We are
nice.
doing our French. It's really the France premiere. You don't do a French premiere. It's a France premiere of the film, and it has French subtitles. And we're doing Paris Pride. So that's going to be really exciting. We had a team put the film, do that work for us, and then sponsoring me to come out and be a part of it, which is just wonderful.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Very cool. But I'll be around, so maybe we'll do a Zoom. I'll be in Europe.
Love it. Love it. All right, Rocky. Good to talk to you.
I can't wait to get on the road. Thank you, everybody, and I will do better with this next time. Sorry.
We'll figure it out. All right. I'm going to jump off TikTok here first. There we go.
Ciao, everybody.
And goodbye to Facebook and YouTube.